Hey all, Sage Civilian here. I wanted to do an overview of what I think is overall the best budget shit hit the fan rifle, maybe a second rifle or something to have on hand in case you have a primary firearm go down. First off, let's make sure that this firearm is safety checked. Go ahead and feel, nothing, pull forward, bang, we're good to go. So I wanted to give first off a high-level overview. As you can see, that this is not a standard stock Ruger American Ranch in 5.56 with a 16-inch barrel. We're going to go over that in just a moment, but a high-level overview is I think this is a very high-quality rifle for the price. It is very durable, and I think that the use case for it, for a preparedness rifle, something for shit hit the fan, or maybe even a first or second rifle if you already have an AR-15, is a very good use case. Overall, for something like this has a high quality barrel. It is not cold hammer forged from my understanding. The muzzle device area, like the actual thread, is cold hammer forged. However, the rifle itself is not for the barrel. I have been shooting to ranges of excess of 500 yards. After about 500 yards, it comes into my shooter capability of if I can hit that or not, especially with excess use of caffeine. That makes it really difficult to hit those long-range shots. However, something like this rifle is very easy to tune in as long as you have the capability personally to shoot effectively at longer ranges for anything from 300 yards on forward. With a scope, even more so. However, in Florida, or for most preparedness incidents, you're probably going to be engaging in a lesser distance, probably 100 yards or less. Within maybe a couple, 20 feet, a handgun might be better suited for you, but if you want to have a rifle and a rifle caliber, anything within 100 yards, this is easily doable with this rifle. Big thing with this is the price. Something like this, without the scope and all the additions, should cost you anywhere from $400 to $600. I bought this at a local gun store. However, I did work there and I knew everybody. I got it for around $400, which is a pretty good deal. You see them online for that price, given you have to have the dealer fee, the FFL fee, and so on. However, for around $400, maybe around $500, you can pretty much get a solid setup ready to shoot out of the box. Now, one thing with this is this rifle is available most places. Most local gun stores, at least the ones that are well stocked, are going to have something like this. This isn't a rifle that's flying off the shelves, or at least not currently. Something like an AR-15, especially if you're in restricted states, California, I think Illinois is now going communist, so I think them too. It's hard to get a proper defensive rifle. However, something like this is more tailored to, as it would say, a ranch rifle, a hunting rifle. So this is a little bit easier to get in something like a banned state, especially where semi-automatics are banned. When it comes to, one thing that's really nice is the availability of mags. This does take an AR-15, a standard AR-15 magazine. So this is a Lancer 20 round. I would run these in my guns because they're nice and short, as you can see. However, a 30 round magazine or anything longer, gonna look a little weird. There we go. It's in there. Tight with all the bolts. Got it. That looks a little weird. It's a little hunky-dory. However, a 20 round magazine works just fine. Also, these are loaded mags, but this is not a loaded gun, so no need to worry there. This fits just fine. There's not too much wiggle. This is ran fine whenever I ran a gun. They ship with a 10 round magazine, a Magpul magazine, but I don't use that because it's a little short on ammunition. So, this gun has obviously been modified. These things are something that probably anybody can do. However, I do have quite a bit of experience with working on firearms. I'm no gunsmith by any means. However, a lot of this stuff can be done at home. Now, going back to front, first off, overall, we have a paint job. This was painted with spray paint. I took off the chassis, which is the actual stock, I guess you could call it a chassis, but the stock from the action, and then I painted it. It's pretty easy, there's nothing really to mask off too bad, maybe besides the mag area, but you'd probably wear that in if you actually shoot it, so no need to worry there. Next is grip tape. This is a little slick, this stock. You can feel it's got some glass fiber reinforcement in it, so it's not like a Nerf gun or anything, but this stock is made of plastic, so it is a little slippy. So being that I'm in Florida, it's raining a lot of the time, especially when there's something bad happening. It's always going to be raining. So grip tape does help. This is Howie's grip tape. It's my favorite grip tape I've used. It's held up with, you know, quite a few range trips and banging around in the safe just fine. The next thing that has been done comes to the bolt. Now, if you look at this bolt, if I can get it out without knocking you over, let's see if I can do it. There you go. This bolt has been polished, if you will, lapped. Basically what I did is I took valve grinding compound. I would not suggest this, by the way, but this is the way I've done it and it works fine. I took valve grinding compound for a car and ran the action, you know, 1,000 times watching John Wick. And then it was polished. I can get it in. There you go. And now it's buttery smooth. You can tell it's very smooth. When you first get it, it is a little tight, which is a good thing. You don't want a loose bolt on this. There is quite a bit of play at the end of the bolt action. However, once it's in there, it's very solid, very smooth. And that helps quite a bit, just kind of loosening things up and getting things ground into each other. I wouldn't suggest taking this out and polishing it with a Dremel tool. You want to make these surfaces meet each other. If you're taking a surface and taking it down and that other surface isn't accommodating, you're just messing with the tolerances of the bolt. So don't do this if you don't know what you're doing. Next thing is it comes with a scope base from factory. However, when I took the scope base off, there wasn't any Loctite on it. I don't know if Ruger's just cheaping out on Loctite because it's expensive and this is a cheap gun, but take out your scope base, clean it real good, make sure to Loctite that so it doesn't go anywhere. Up top, I have a Vortex Strike Eagle 1x8 by 24, or 1 to 8 by 24. I think this scope is fine. I had it, it was a good deal. However, I would probably choose maybe a primary arm scope or another Vortex scope with a bigger, I guess that's the bigger objective. I don't know. The bigger lens in the front, so you have a little bit more field of view. This is nice. It's in a perfect position for my eye, at least. However, as you can see, it's a little far back. It looks a little weird, but I think it works just fine for me, especially with the fact that it's, you know, really durable. I've had older Strike Eagles that have been just fine. This one is fine for my uses. I don't have any problem with it. It's clear glass for the price. You're not going to be getting, you know, Vortex Razor quality or like Trijicon ACOG quality, but for the price, very solid. Next thing you can see here, when this magazine well comes from factory, let's see if I can show you. I got a knife here somewhere. So this magazine well looks like that. It's kind of cut off. So you're getting a normal AR-15 magazine release, and it's kind of tucked in there. It's hard to get your finger out. I had this Odinworks XMR mag release. It's been through, you know, a few rough times. You can see it's pretty scratched up. This works great. I want to get things out fast. I'm a lefty, so it is kind of a little bit more tricky for me. However, this was shaved with a Dremel tool and then also sanded nice and smooth. It looks pretty good in my opinion. It is very functional, but it is an aftermarket modification to the stock and magazine area, or chassis, or you want to call it. Next, paracord sling. I had it. I'd probably get not a paracord sling, but I had it, and it is green, so there you go. Next is a Harris bipod. I'm not sure the exact model. Make sure that if you get a bipod for your bolt gun, that it swivels. I'm knocking you there. That it swivels. If it doesn't swivel, it's kind of hard to get on target, especially if you're laying prone. So make sure you get a Harris bipod that swivels. Magpul bipods are fine. However, I would pretty much only trust Harris, Axis, you know, something a little bit more high quality and metal. The Harris bipods are the best bang for your buck, for my opinion. And then up front, it has a Surefire 3-prong muzzle device for a Surefire RC2. This is a SOCOM RC2. So you throw that on there, do it. If I can get it nice and tight. There we go. There we go. We're good to go. It is a little long like this. It's a little bit more front forward. 5.56 is not quiet when suppressed. However, it does make a big difference, and it does sound really cool because you're really only hearing the bullet fire. You're not hearing an action cycle. I'm going to post some videos interlaced with this. Maybe I'll throw one in now or towards the end of the video of me shooting this suppressed on a flat range running, I guess, a drill, you could say. But I just kind of want to show that is a capability. This is a standard, was it 1/4 of an inch by 28 thread. So this accepts most standard AR-15, you know, standard barrel suppressors, muzzle devices. You can throw whatever you want on there. I think it comes with just kind of a flat cap, but I haven't had that on there in a while, so I'm not sure. Now, after modifications, I want to go over overall quality of rifle. So this rifle, it was for me $400. I would say you get probably more than you pay for. When you come with an AR-15, they are inherently more expensive. However, with Palmetto coming out, I mean, you get a rifle for like $350 to $400 now. So this is, you know, that's, if you want to put together, if you want to assemble it, that's give or take. You could probably get a decent AR-15 with an optic for $500, $600 now, easy. However, like I said, if you're in a band state, this might be a better rifle for you. This rifle is very high quality for the price. Ruger has an excellent warranty. I used to work in the local gun store, and their warranty was always superb. When it came to action, out of the box, this does shoot excellent. You don't have to really do anything with it. I would suggest cleaning it before you shoot it. That might just be for cowards, but I always clean my guns. Like if you get a new car, you should always do an oil change. You don't know, you know, where it's been. The trigger is fairly nice for the price, for $400. I have this adjusted down. I don't think it's quite 3 pounds, but it is adjusted down quite a bit. It is pretty smooth. It's certainly not going to be a, you know, like a race gun trigger. However, for the price, I don't know, it's kind of hard to beat. Yeah, nice and easy. It's got a little adjustment Allen screw in the back. There's plenty of YouTube videos. You can go online and it'll show you how to do that. It's fairly easy. This barrel, I do not believe is cold hammer forged. I think they said the threads are cold hammer forged. However, the barrel is not. However, you know, I've shot accurate groups out to 300 yards just fine. I've hit a target at 500 yards. I wouldn't say it was certainly accurate, but that's down to you know, my experience with shooting guns at a long range. 300 yards is pretty much my cap for where my accuracy goes out the window, but I'll certainly get some more training as soon as the time arrives where I can do that. The stock chassis, whatever you want to call it, it's fine. I mean, it's $400. It's plastic. It's hollow plastic. It's a little squishy. I mean, if you were really cranking on this like a gorilla, you probably would crack it. However, if you're just using this for typical, you know, shooting uses, whether that's survival, hunting, you're probably fine. Being that it's plastic, you don't have to worry about it rotting. If it was wood, given a good rifle, it probably shouldn't rot anyways. But it is relatively high quality. I really haven't had any issues. I will say that this barrel is not free floated. I did take some sandpaper and make sure that this barrel was free floated all the way up. If you do push on it, it will bend. So if you're putting a lot of weight, I don't know if you can see that. If you're putting a lot of weight on the forend, it is gonna bend. I don't know if you can hear that too. It's free floated, but I certainly wouldn't be pushing on it too hard. It's not that rigid up front. You could probably reinforce this with steel rods, but if you're buying a budget, you know, bolt action rifle, you're probably not doing that anyways. But you know, seeing that this is a bolt action, if you're concerned about durability for long-term use, whether that's I want to have this and pass it down to my kids, or I want this for the rest of my life, it's not going to fail on you. Given I wouldn't shoot any super hot hand loads through this sucker. However, you know, anything that's supersonic, which most AR-15 ammo is, subsonic, you know, weird ammo you got from your grandfather, it'll probably shoot. A bolt action doesn't have to worry about the reliability issues that you may have with AR-15s. You have the gas impingement system, direct impingement. You don't have to worry about cycling. All you got to do is just cycle it, shoot, cycle it again, and you're pretty much fine. I've never personally had any issues. I assume maybe if you cycle it like a little baby, you might have ejection issues, like if you're going like, I mean, it might not cycle, but if you're running this like a bolt gun wants to be run, you're probably fine. Now, overall, where my notes going? To use case. Now, why do I think this is a solid shit hit the fan rifle? I kind of went over it at the very beginning, But I think if you're looking for either a first rifle, if you're in a banned state, or maybe you're not as comfortable with AR-15s, this is a solid first rifle. You can get into it for under $600 all in, maybe not with the suppressor, but with everything else. It's a little bit more user-friendly. It's just a bolt, a safety, and magazine. So it is very reliable. This rifle may also not be as... Oh, they're doing trash outside. I don't know if you can hear that. They're pulling all sorts of fun stuff. This rifle isn't scary, I guess you could say. AR-15s kind of have a synonymous, distinction of being a weapon of war, and sometimes, whether that's news outlets or people might be kind of afraid of them, which is, I guess fair. They are used for violence. However, I think a lot more Americans are going to be using these for defensive uses. When it comes to the Ruger American Ranch, it looks like a hunting gun. Maybe not this one, but this looks like, Grandpa's old bolt gun. He has, Remington Winchester in the little closet. You're pretty much good to go. So if you're traveling with this, it's maybe not as scary, or if you have it on your back, maybe not as scary if you're going to be traveling with it. This rifle can be used for hunting. I would say probably most hunting in Florida. I mean, you probably blow a squirrel up if you shoot them with a 5.56. But if you're shooting, maybe a boar, small, deer, you're pretty much fine. Hopefully it never gets to the point where you feel like you have to be hunting. But overall, this is a good rifle if you had that use case. I think maybe if I was hunting in the north, rather than in Florida in the south, I probably would pick a larger caliber. But given that this is in 5.56 and takes AR-15 mags, if you already have an AR-15, you probably got a bunch of these, or if not, you should, and you already got the ammo. So if you have an AR-15 already, this makes an excellent backup rifle. That's originally why I bought this one, was a backup rifle to have with my AR-15. Now I got a couple AR-15s and a backup rifle. When it comes to this defensive usage, with a scope, you do have a lot of range to do an overview of the area you're in. Which is nice. I think a binocular might be a little bit more less obtrusive way to do that. However, you got quite a distance you could be overviewing and verifying that your area is safe. This certainly isn't as quick for follow-up shots as maybe an AR-15 if you were defending yourself or your family. But like I said, that's give and take. If you can get an AR-15, if you feel comfortable, I think if you can get an AR-15, you should. It's great. They're really cool. It's a great place to start. It's good to learn about how they work and how to build them. However, if you're not as comfortable with an AR-15, this is certainly an excellent choice. When it comes to defense, like I said, anything within 300 yards is fine. I would probably wager to guess that most defensive, offensive usage you may have in a shit to hit the fan scenario, for me personally, being in hurricane alley when it comes to Florida, is that we have in the last hurricane, which was Ian, we had looters come through. I had an AR-15, so I was a little bit more prepared. However, if you want to defend yourself, that's typically going to be within 100 meters or less. If you're going to be within 10 feet of a person, which hopefully, God forbid, you never are, pistol might be a better choice, but I certainly think that this might be a good way to defend yourself if you had that sort of situation. Like I said, this can reach out and touch someone up to probably much longer. I think there's videos on YouTube of people shooting these out to 1,000 yards. I don't know how reliable they're going to be doing that out to, but I think this is, like I said, a very solid choice for a 5.56 budget shit hit the fan rifle. I would say that 5.56 ammo is cheap, certainly cheaper than maybe a 6.5 Creedmoor or 308. But these are getting close to 40-50 cents a round, especially in this fancy green tip. So it's not as cheap as it used to be, where it was around 25 cents, but certainly a solid choice to stock up on, whether if you want to have an AR-15 or something like this. Closing thoughts, like I said, solid gun for the price, around 400 to 500 bucks. You can find them for typically. For the durability, it's a bolt gun. You don't have to worry about any sort of semi-automatic issues with that. It's, just kind of, as long as the bullet will fit in the barrel and it's not going to explode or something, you're pretty much fine. Ease of use, if you have minor experiences with firearms, you could probably use a bolt gun. I would suggest taking a safety class if you've never done any sort of firearm, instruction before. It's very high quality to take a safety class and actually learn from someone who knows what they're doing. YouTube videos are great. There's lots of great YouTubers such as Nurse Dude, Hoplopophile, I think his name's Hop now, Brassfax, Lucas Botkin, Grand Thumb. I can go on and on and on. Plenty of great YouTube channels to learn from and how to shoot a gun. Make sure you're doing it safely. Make sure you're doing it accurately. And like I said, I hope you have a great time. Let me know if there's any questions you have in the comments. If there's anything else you'd like me to cover on this. This is my first video on this channel, so I hope you all like it. If you have any suggestions or comments, please add those below. And I hope you all have a wonderful and hopefully hurricane-free day. Thank y'all. Bye. Can't see it. Too shaky. Oh fuck with the helmet. I don't think I fucking hit that. Oh, fuck. Where's the fucking bait? Oh, click.